Hey everyone, welcome to Knick-Knack's Corner. I'm Nick, wearing my wizarding robe, and we're in a corner. Today, we're going to talk about the Fellowship of the Ring. A little bit of Tolkien talk, also with the book review. When I was a kid, my neighbor next door to me in my classroom, Alphonse Vermeulen, lent me the first part of Fellowship of the Ring. I read it and was enthralled. As a kid with dyslexia and having issues with reading, this book captured my imagination and also really drove home to me that I could read a book and finish it, which was phenomenal. So I repeated the process about 30 times over the course of the next few years, reading The Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers and Return of the King, The Hobbit, basically anything by Tolkien exclusively for a long time. I love the world building and I love what is offered within the characterization. I also am a huge fan of the language building he did. As a kid, created some languages as well. But I guess to start here is one of the things that I really loved about the story was how different it was from the movies. I read the books first, seen the movie second. The book was phenomenal. I love Frodo moving into a whole new house before he leaves the Shire, them hanging out with old Gaffer, Tom Bombadil, and Goldberry. I loved the feast at Rivendell, with Elrond and Frodo getting to talk to Gloin about Bilbo's exploits in The Hobbit and stuff like that. The Watcher of the Water, Pippin throwing rocks in the water and disturbing it, letting Bill the pony go at the gates of Moria, to the point of, just meeting Galadriel, everyone getting their gifts, Boromir and his golden belt, Sam and his special seed, which plays a huge part later on. And I just really love the story altogether. It is one of my favorite stories of all time. And Tolkien he did an amazing job with this. He didn't know where he was going with it, and that's the thing I love most about it, is because you could see, especially in Fellowship of the Ring, which is what we're talking about today, he starts off the book, the first half of the book is basically leaving the Shire. And I thought that was pretty awesome that you're contained in this new world that you don't know anything about, but that you're contained in a small little Shire setting for a bit. And then what ends up happening is they leave the Shire and things start to happen in a very rapid pace. I believe it's the Sons of Elrond who save Frodo, pick him up from Aragorn after the Witch King stabs him. And I'm pretty sure it's Gandalf and Elrond who create the waves of horses that take over the Nine Nazgul. This was amazing. I just loved how we went from the Shire to Bree to Weathertop to Rivendell, and then I really enjoyed Tolkien's voice in this. He definitely writes with the aspect of not having television, which you can tell in his writing for how descriptive he is. Nowadays, a lot of books aren't as descriptive that way, mostly because your imagination is already filled by lots of images from television, movies, and things like that, experiences in life. And the thing is, back in the day, especially with Tolkien, Charles Dickens, anyone like that, they were long-winded because they wanted to explain what this looked like and what that looked like. The tapestries, the blades of grass, the forests, the wallpaper, things like that. They always wanted to give you a very solid image in your head of what's going on. And that was something that really helped me out with my reading. And I really loved the way he did it. So his voice was fantastic. His execution was perfect. My wife just finished reading this, which is why I'm reviewing it now. She was supposed to join me, but she's just not feeling well, so I'm doing it here myself. That's why I kept getting put off, which I'm sorry about, but here it is, and it's for you to enjoy. And this, I feel, is going to be well recommended to anyone who wants to get into fantasy. I mean, we have a plethora of authors to choose from nowadays. You have Scott Lynch, George Martin, Patrick Rothfuss, J.K. Rowling. There are many, many authors out there nowadays who definitely take the cake for some of the best fantasy works that's happening. Don't forget Joe Abercrombie. I love his work as well. I'm not entirely full on into his stuff yet, but The Blade itself was a fantastic fantasy story, and none of them would exist today without Tolkien. Tolkien loved his old mythology from Norse mythology and Roman mythology and things like that. For what he created, that's why he made a pantheon in his story. We get to see more and more about the gods, things like that. Like, for instance, I believe Goldberry is like a water sprite, a water goddess or something like that. Gandalf is a demigod in itself, as well as Saruman. Sauron is also a demigod as well. And just this whole entire mythology that he created, this entire story, really is quite amazing, and I love what he has done. I think that it's easily accessible, and I think The Hobbit is a fantastic way to start off getting into fantasy. It's a nice short book, very condensed and fast-paced, because it's kind of like with things happening, and it's good entry into Middle-earth. And if you like it, I would definitely look at going into the rest of Middle-earth, because Tolkien did something that no other author did before. He created a history for his entire world. He created languages. He created like songs and stories. He created everything you need to create a civilization, essentially, and he did that all within his books. And I think that is impressive and amazing all at the same time. And I think that's why he is deeply rooted as one of my favorite authors of all time. And definitely my favorite story of all time is Lord of the Rings. There is no contest there for that. And when The Two Towers is done by my wife, I will also be reviewing that as well. Anyway, guys, for today, I think that'll be everything, and I appreciate all of you coming to the corner and hanging out with me. Also, I'd like to say we made 50 subscribers. I think that's fantastic, and you guys are wonderful, and I appreciate every single like and comment and subscription, everything like that. I love it all, and I'm so happy to have you guys here with me. So, thank you for being here, and have a wonderful day. See you later. Till next time.